So hey guys, welcome to another video, and I already did the overall first impressions and sort of what I think about the new WoW expansion, and I want to follow it up with a series of videos where I discuss everything separately. Alright, and today I want to focus on the artifact weapons and why I think personally that it's a very good idea. And I want to start off with a little story. So back in the day, I was a warrior. And in vanilla, I was an engineer. It was a lot of fun with goblin engineering, rocket boots that explode and you lose them, so you have to build them again, and you had bombs and stuff. It was fun. But in the Burning Crusade, I swapped to being a blacksmith. And in the Burning Crusade and in vanilla, you had to choose whether you want to become a weaponsmith or an armorsmith at certain level of blacksmithing. I chose to be a weaponsmith. And I loved being a weaponsmith, and I'm going to tell you why. So, I was pretty much a freshly dinged level 70 warrior, and I was a tank, so getting DPS equipment in dungeons was not a thing. People would just not give me DPS equipment. It was as simple as that, and I wanted to be a tank, but for PvP, I wanted to be arms. Because arm was, you were a glass cannonball. You weren't a glass cannon, you were a glass cannonball. You would fly through the battleground, kill everything, but as soon as something touches you, you shattered and you died. Alright, that was Arms Warriors. And we also had an amazing talent called Mace Specialization, which gave you a chance to stun whatever you're hitting as long as you are hitting it with the two-handed hammer. And for Warriors, it was like really overpowered because you could stun lock someone by spamming hamstring, which in PvP gear was kind of almost free. So I'm here on my warrior, I want to play arms, and I need a two-handed mace. Alright, so I created a two-handed mace by the name of Thunder. And this mace was pretty good. For a freshly dinged level 70 character, it was amazing. It had good damage, it had some strength, it had some agility. Yes, warriors use agility. It gave us crit. And it had some stamina. And it was awesome. I was just wrecking shit in PvP. But as I started doing dungeons and heroic dungeons, I started acquiring primal nethers, which dropped from the bosses. And I wasn't quite sure what to do with it. One day, though, I've Googled it, and I found out that if I get these primal nethers, and I get enough of them, and I get some other prime elements that you could farm in the world, I could upgrade my Thunder into Deep Thunder, which was pretty much just an upgraded version, which had more damage, and it had more stats, but it also had a chance on hit that would stun your target. Yeah. When you combine this with the mace specialization, it was ridiculous. You would charge someone, and they would be stunned, and stunned, and stunned, and dead. Alright, those are the two stages people would go through after you charged them with Deep Thunder. They would be stunned and dead. Nothing in between. And I was extremely happy with what I did. Right? I created this mace, and a couple months later, I started doing dungeons and stuff, and I was really into it, and I found out about this, so I upgraded, and I was really happy, and I loved my Deep Thunder mace. Because it was something I created, and I wrecked face with, because it was extremely overpowered, alright? But then I started doing raids, and as we killed our first boss, an item by the name of Nether Vortex dropped. I was like, oh, what is this for? And people had no idea what it's for. And then someone was like, oh, that's for, upgrading stuff. So me, being a raid leader, a selfish douchebag, I got the first, 5 vortexes of our first 5 boss kills, and I upgraded my Deep Thunder again into the final, ultimate version, the Storm Herald. Or as it was known within the PvP community, the Stun Herald, or Stone Herald, whatever. And this was an even better version of Deep Thunder. It also had the chance on hit that would stun your target. And that mace, Storm Herald, was in my bank up until my very last day in Wrath of the Lich King, where I have quit. I've played Battlegrounds with it. Even though I was raiding Black Temple and Hyjal and Sunwell, ultimately, I would not replace it. I had the chance to acquire better weapons. I just didn't. Because this was something that I have created. Alright, I made Thunder, upgraded it to Deep Thunder, and then ultimately upgraded it to Storm Herald. And it was something I have created. And it was mine. And I was very proud of it. I loved that mace. And I believe that if I didn't quit in Wrath of the Lich King, Storm Herald would be in my bank to this very day. And this is why I think the artifact weapons will be good. Because it's an amazing feeling to take a weapon and upgrade it and make it your own. Instead of killing a boss and being like, oh, this weapon is cool, then killing another boss and just being like, well, this one is cooler, so let's throw this one out. You can get invested in that weapon, and it's amazing to just upgrade it and make it look the way you want. That was something we couldn't do, although Storm Herald did look amazing. You know, Thunder was awesome, Deep Thunder was more awesome, and Storm Herald was amazing. But now you can make it look the way you want. You can have a Flaming Ashbringer, and you can spec them differently because they have their own talent trees, and I just think that you will get very invested in that weapon, and you will love it as well. Now, there is one thing I don't like about this. I don't like that they are using such iconic and unique weapons for this. I think they should have made completely different new artifact weapons. Because, I mean, you know, one Doomhammer is cool, but when every enhancement shaman has a Doomhammer, that just doesn't make sense. Or Ashbringer. Ashbringer is a unique weapon, even though you can't get Corrupted Ashbringer. And I know that you can say this about every other weapon like Gorehowl in Karazhan or Hammer of Naru, but it just, I don't know, it doesn't feel right to see everyone running around with Doomhammers, you know, and Ashbringers. It just doesn't feel right, and I think they're focusing too much on the single player experience, so everyone is special and everyone is the commander and the leader of their class. I don't think so. I don't want to be a leader. I want to be a soldier in that war. That's what I want to be. I want to be a druid fighting the demons. I don't want to be the leader of the druids. Because, you know, when everyone is special, no one is. You know, back in Pandaria, when they introduced the legendary cloaks, people were like, well, this is stupid. Everyone's getting a legendary and it's just boring and it's all the same. And people, including me, were saying, well, it would be fixed if they made a legendary for every single spec. So, you know, you could have something unique, but, you know, they're not going to make it. That's crazy. How many specs are there in the game? They're just not going to do it. It's too much work. You know, here we have it. I think this is a logical progression. And it's a good progression from the legendary stuff. Because we got cloaks, woo. We got rings, woo. But now you're getting a cool weapon that you can work on and upgrade. I think that's way cooler, right? It might have something to do with the fact that I am a druid and I might be able to customize my own forms finally. Maybe that's why I might be more excited than other people. And yeah, some people are saying like, wow, they made a Doomhammer with 5 skins. Woo, that's very creative. Wow. I think there will be a butt ton of customization because there is like what? 35-ish specs? That's 35-ish weapons. And that's it. That's all the weapons they have to make for this expansion. So they can make a buttload of skins. And if they don't, well, they have failed. And for people who are saying like, wow, Doomhammer, what if I don't want to use a Doomhammer as an enhancement shaman? The fuck is wrong with you? Imbeciles? I don't want to use an Ashbringer. Well, then you are mentally ill, sir or madam. And that's it from me. I thank you all for watching. Tell me what you think about these artifact weapons in the comment section, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.